Notice anything different right now? I might be dressed up just a little bit fancier than usual. Well, let me tell you why. So, if you've been following the last couple days, I'm talking about creating exceptional experiences for both internal and external customers with a pretty big emphasis on internal customers. So, I'm going through the blend philosophy. If you missed anything, just look up our dates from September 30th and October 1st. And here we get to the L of blend. So the L stands for listen with your ears and your eyes. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So when we have experiences as a customer, let's talk about an external customer. We're walking into a store or a restaurant. As a customer, you are having experiences from what things look like, the sounds, the smells, the way you're treated, if you're seen, if you're interacted with right away. And remember, yesterday we were talking about being fully and immediately present to your customer. And all those things are registering all at once, but they leave you with an impression. And what we do as business owners or salespeople or people that work in these kind of stores and clinics and even restaurants, even office buildings, the way that we react to our customers tells a story. We kind of have this theme going on and on about what story we're telling and what story we want told. So sometimes we tell the right story and sometimes we don't. And you can usually hear it with a customer when they're not happy because they will tell you, I'm not happy with this. How did you like your food? Well, it wasn't very good. How did you like the purchase of your shoes? Well, they broke on me after the third time I wore them. So we can hear things, but the way we see and hear together can tell an even greater story. So we all know that there's, certain things about body language. If somebody goes, thank you for coming, I'm sure glad you came into our store today. You can tell, obviously, that I could care less, or actually maybe even angry that you came into the store. But do we really pick up on all the right signals that people tell us? So let's say, for instance, let's go back to the restaurant. Did you enjoy your meal today? If I go, yeah. By looking at me, you probably are going to see that probably it wasn't perfect, or maybe it was just okay. And if I'm really savvy, I'm going to pick up on that and I'm going to talk to you about it. So sometimes it's easier to look at this with external customers than internal customers. Let's think about what that means. So, if you ask your colleague, for instance, if they need something and they go, nope, I'm doing fine. Got it. Well, clearly, they are saying the right words that say, no, I don't need any help. But everything else about them is saying, I need help and I'm in big trouble. And most likely, they're behind on a deadline. They're stressed about something. There's something that's going wrong. You, as an internal customer to them or them to you, have a great opportunity to say, I know you're telling me you're fine, but you look really stressed out. And if there's anything I can do to help you, I'd be happy to. Or even if you just need a sounding board because you think I may not be able to help, maybe I can help you find a solution. Those kind of interactions really develop customer experiences in a whole new way because it says, I don't only just hear you, I see you. So it's that kind of question about what else can I get for you? What else can I do for you? And often in working environments, we fail to take that last step with a colleague. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I have a deadline for something and my deadline is my one portion of a project. And I'm happy because I'm delivering on my deadline and then I move on to the next task. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You are achieving your goals. But when we don't ever stop to say, hey, I just want to make sure I delivered this on time. So I want to make sure, is that good? Is there anything else you need? Is there anything else I can do for you? That we are actually stopping and getting out of our own way in our own concentric focus and looking outside to see how we may be able to impact the greater good. Now, this is not easy, especially in certain environments where you're thinking, well, I don't want to ask that person if there's anything else that I can do for them because they might say yes, and I've got enough on my plate. Or they might say yes because they like to take advantage of me. So those are things you have to be wary of. But in a lot of cases, to try and make sure that we are creating these really exceptional internal customer experiences, it requires us to think beyond ourselves. Now, why in the world would you want to do this? Well, there's a couple reasons. If you want to see your own career advance, if you want to maybe see some other opportunities within that company, if you want a position that maybe is a little far removed from you at the moment, then those steps of showing that you care more about the whole than just your part begins to put you in an awareness factor of those who are leading around you. So, a really great little story is I have a really dear friend now. His name is Rocky Romanella. And he has this great book that's called Tighten the Lug Nuts. And he's all about what are those little details as a leader that if you're not paying attention to, the whole thing's going to fall apart. So lug nuts in a car, if you're not tightening the lug nuts, pretty soon that wheel's going to fall off. So one day he and I were talking about promotions and how do you know when it's the right time to promote someone? And he gave this just brilliant example. And he said, he's in this meeting and all these people, were talking about who was probably in line for a promotion. They, all these other managers were looking to their teams to see who was going to take this position. And he said, when they asked me my opinion, I first said, who is already in the job without the title? And what he meant by that was who's already operating above where they are and really looking at the greater good of the company. So then he said, now my next question for you all is, here are all of us and we're in this room together. But what if we had all these people we're talking about promoting in the room with us, and all of us that are the decision makers were called out of the room in a rush, and something had to be decided in this room, but all of us that normally make the decisions are gone. Not only who would step up, but who would the rest of the group listen to? Who would they follow? That has stuck with me for a couple years since he told me because it is so true. It's about knowing that there's already leaders within our ranks who people within an organization know and trust and value their input. And that means that those people are constantly looking up from where they are in their job, and they're looking at their colleagues, and they're looking at their boss, and they're looking at the people that report to them, and they're trying to juggle all those different views in a way that's good for the company. And those people really, truly become the natural born leaders. So when I go through the L of listen with your ears and your eyes, it means being so much more aware than of just where you are, just where your responsibilities are, just where your department is, just what your scope and job description is by bullet points. It's that person who cares enough about the mission of the organization to really put it into play when dealing with not only their external customers, but their internal. So that's our point for today. As I remember, listening with your ears and your eyes will truly help you to absolutely shock your potential.